What's going on, gang? Today's class is about subject to investing and everything you need to know. If you guys have any questions, just leave a comment and I'll be happy to answer your questions for you. So, what is subject to investing? Now, before I dive in, I want you to know that there's a lot of misconceptions, there's a lot of misunderstanding out there on Facebook, on your YouTube. I see guys that are SEO experts and they're just doing random topics about SEO, like subject to, and just they don't know what they're talking about. I've heard title companies that say, "Oh, you can't do this," and they don't know what they're talking about because I've done many of these properties and I've even closed at a title company both ways, buying and selling. Now, I'm not a attorney, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just giving it to you from the way I've done it. And right off the bat, what is subject to? Let's talk about what is subject to investing because so many people ask me. Now, if you have any questions about anything, leave a comment, especially it's about subject to investing, seller financing, owner financing properties. What is subject to, first of all? Subject to is a strategy where the seller deeds you the property. They give you the ownership of the property and the underlying debt, the old mortgage stays in place. I don't assume the loan. I don't go and get a loan under my own name from my own bank, nor do I go to the seller's bank and say, "Hey, I want to assume this." I don't assume the loan. I just take over the payments. So simply put, subject to is a strategy where I buy real estate from motivated sellers and I just step into the seller's shoes. Simply put, the easiest way to put it, I just step into the seller's shoes and I just make the monthly payments. The seller gives me the deed, gives me the title, the ownership of the property. I become the rightful owner of it. So simply put, subject to is a owner financing or seller financing strategy. Now, many people ask me, "Well, Mike, can I do a subject to if the seller does not have a loan?" Absolutely. That's what I call it, straight seller financing. Now, there's many different types of seller financing. There's at least 7 of them. And on my YouTube channel or my blog, I go into all of the 7 different types, but people just categorize them into seller financing. Okay, that's just a generic term. Now, another misunderstanding is that subject twos are for bad deals, like deals that have no equity, and that's absolutely wrong. There's 3 types of subject to deals out there. There's subject to deals that have no equity. That's right. There's subject to deals that have equity, right? Or marginal equity. And there's subject to deals that have significant equity. So there's all types of sellers out there. Some of them don't have any equity and some of them have significant equity. Now, the question is, how are you going to sweep the tea for them to want to accept your offer? Okay, that's the key. But the conception out there is many people think that just because it's a subject to that it doesn't have equity. And that's absolutely wrong. Just because it's a subject to, it doesn't mean that it's not going to cash flow monthly on a rental. That's absolutely wrong. You can buy a house as subject to that can have a lot of equity, that could have marginal equity, that could have no equity. It ranges, right? It depends on the seller and the situation and the deal. And you can have buy properties that are subject to, they can cash flow a lot, they can cash flow a little bit, they could cash flow zero, or they could cash flow negative. So there's all types of subject to deals out there. Now, the next question I always hear all the time is, Mike, why would a seller sell you their home this way? And one simple answer, ladies and gentlemen, please listen to this, because they are motivated. Now, when I say motivated, people think they has to be desperate and they have to be like in a tough situation. That's incorrect. That's incorrect. No, 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 no. There's 2 types of motivation out there. There's financial motivation. Now, these people are desperate. But then there is emotional motivation. These people are not desperate. For example, anyone that's emotionally motivated can have their house clear, can have a lot of equity, but they just don't want to deal with the problem anymore because the house is not a problem. One great example is, let me give you a quick example. Son lives in a different state. Dad dies away. He doesn't want to come down here, go through the rubbish, having all that sadness and depression, whatever. He just decides to just sell the property, real cheap, not to deal with it and just pocket any kind of money he's going to get and just move on. So you rather do that versus taking time off of work. He has kids, he's not going to be able to see them. He has to come out here, have more expenditure, put it on the market, clean it up, go through all this stuff. So that's an example. Now, doesn't mean anyone that has a death in the family, they're just willing to give it up. No, there are people that want to get maximized from it, and other people are just willing to just let go the path of least resistance. So that's what's called a motivated seller. So motivated sellers can be emotionally motivated. Those are the ones that I like. Emotionally motivated sellers, that because the probability of them having equity is a lot more than what's called financially motivated. So I like emotionally motivated sellers. Another example is people going through a divorce. Now ask yourself, how many people do you know that's going through a divorce in America? Ask yourself that. Do you know anyone that's going through a divorce? Well, guess what? Usually it takes two income, thanks to the Federal Reserve, thanks to the central bankers, thanks to their monetary policy. They're printing this money out like crazy, and it's causing both family members, the mom and the dad, to work. So guess what happens when there's a crack in the foundation? They can't afford the home. Sometimes they're able to sell it with a real estate agent. Sometimes they're not able to because for many different reasons. Emotionally motivation, physical motivation, like mom and dad are fighting, they're not talking to each other, they're trying to get, give it, duke it out versus solving the problem. Okay. So let's move on from the motivation because I think I hit that on top of the head. Now, guys, if you have any questions about subject two, leave it here. I've been doing subject to deals since 2006. That's majority of the deals that I do. Subject to deals, seller financing deals. Okay. Now it doesn't mean that I don't buy houses for cash at 60 cents on a dollar. I love to do that. Unfortunately, not everyone is willing to sell their home at 60 cents on a dollar to give me enough spread for me to be able to do a flip or make money. Therefore, having these other strategies allows me to give the seller more money by sweetening the tea and create a win-win. What they win and I win. Now, if you want to learn how to win, how to create these situations, okay, then I highly recommend joining my profit sharing coaching. I show you exactly what I do. I give you my systems. I give you my business tools, and we meet every Saturday for 1 hour. And you can ask me any questions you have. I'll give you training, and I make my money when you do deals. And I want to buy your deals. Doesn't matter if you're in California, you're in Florida, you're in New Mexico. I want to buy your deals. So I'm willing to partner up with you in a sense of coaching, give you all my business secrets, and help you find deals so I can buy it or you can buy it or we'll fix it, flip it, or we'll do some other exit strategy for us to both make money. Simple as that. Now, let's move to some other questions that I always get. I wrote some of those questions down. If you guys have any questions about subject two, this is a great time to ask it. Okay. Um, Now, people ask me, Mike, what is the benefit of buying a house subject to? Okay, simple. One, I'm in control. Two, I don't need a banker. I don't need a bank. Please, banker, can I get another house? Can I get another rental? I don't have to do that, okay? Because I don't deal with bankers. I hate bankers. So I'm in control of the closing. When I close, how I close. Do I want to close at a title company? Do I want to close at a kitchen table? Do I want to take it to the attorney's office? I get to choose. I get to choose if I want to spend this much money on closing or if I want to spend this much money on the closing. It's all up to me. Traditionally, if I went with a real estate agent in the bank, I'd be at their mercy. So again, control. So no bank, I'm in control. I always negotiate a non-recourse loan, which means that I'm willing to pledge the property as collateral in a DOT, deed of trust, but I'm not going to sign a promissory note like the traditional way of going. Therefore, if I ever default, which I'm not going to, but if I ever default, if I get hit by a bus and I die, right, the people cannot come after me and my family. They could only take the collateral, which is the fairest thing because I made payments on it, I made improvements on it, and they could take the collateral. If I default, take the collateral. But it doesn't make sense to take the collateral and come after me. That's why I don't deal with banks because it's very, very, I think, in their favor. Okay. Now, so there's other benefits. I don't have to come up with all the purchasing power. If I want to buy a house, uh, for example, today for cash, then I need all that purchasing price. If I want to buy it at the auction, I need all the purchasing price. If I want to buy it through a real estate agent or through a HUD or bank foreclosure, I need all the purchasing price. With it subject to, I don't need all the purchase price. That's why it's called terms. That's why it's called seller financing. That's why it's called owner financing. Same words, just different, same idea, different words. Simply put, I don't need all the money. That's it. Okay, that's the power of subject to. Now, there's so many different benefits. Let me run through some other ones. Okay, one of my favorite is amortization. When I go buy a loan, when I go get a loan from, let's say, a bank to buy a house, I have to pay amortization, which means it's a funny way the bankers get all their money up front, and I pay hardly any principal reduction the first 7 to 10 years. Okay. Sorry, guys. I had a message from my woman, making sure she was okay. Okay. Anyways, on the amortization part, guys, I'm freestyling. I'm not scripted or anything like that. Okay. Um, in the amortization part, the benefit is that when I buy someone's home, and let's say they live in the home for 7 years, and I just take over their payments, they've already paid most of the amortization. Now, when I start making the payments on their bank, on their loan, even though I own the house, I'm making the payments on their loan. Now my monthly payments are going to principal reduction, which means that I'm building equity versus those guys. Okay, because the first 10 years or so is mostly interest payoff versus principal payoff, and as time goes forward, thanks to bankers' clever strategies like amortization, I get to jump that, and I don't have to get a new loan where I start the amortization clock all over, which is very, very powerful if you understand how amortization works. Okay, most people don't understand it, so they don't get it. Now, sometimes I'm able to buy these houses with no money at all. Sometimes I'm able to buy these houses with very little amount of money. Okay, maybe just pay for the closing, maybe pay for the moving, maybe pay 2 months behind. Okay, which means that I don't need a 10, 20% down payment. Okay, okay. I think we got some questions. Let me see. Guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask it. Okay, someone asks, hey, is it possible to do it without money up front? Absolutely. Okay, guys and ladies, it all depends on the situation and the seller. In the last crash, 2006, 2007, I had sellers offer me. I had one seller, a beautiful home in McKinney, Texas. I'm talking about a beautiful home, beautiful area, very sophisticated buyers with college degrees and masters that work for great companies. Okay, they had bought a house, and the market has tanked, and the company had relocated them. So they were, I give them the offer of owner financing subject to, and I told them, you got to give me $5,000, right? You have to give me $5,000 for me to take over your payments. And guess what? They said okay. So it doesn't have to be where you're the one that's paying the arrears. You could have them pay the arrears. You there's 3 ways to structure these deals. Go to my blog dot my real estate dojo and type in 3 ways to buy subject twos. I talk about 3 ways to structure them. Okay. But yes, you can buy them without any money down. It depends on the deal. One of my students, Mac, he's working on a deal right now. The seller has a brand new home and needs no repairs. It's not behind in payments. It's not behind in payments. It needs no repairs. And guess what? When we close on this deal, we might just give him just $1,000. So very, very little or nothing. Okay. Hopefully nothing. All right. So there's a lot of benefits with buying subject twos. Again, if you have any questions, leave a comment. Shirley says, hey, can you start with no money? Shirley, can you start with no money? Okay, that is a very complex question because are you talking about can you buy a house with no money? Yes. But should you buy houses if you don't have no money? No. If you don't got no, like for example, you want to be a landlord, you got no fucking money. Why should you buy a house? Because you can get it for free. That's why people are in problem they are today. Okay, so no, if you're going to be a landlord, no. But there's other strategies. If you don't have any money, can you go and wholesale deals with no money? Yes. Wholesale means you find a deal, good deal, you lock it up on a piece of paper, and then you sell your positioning or that paper for some assignment fee. Okay, like what my student just is doing. Yes, you can absolutely do that, right? But if you got no money, you got to think about it. You can't do fix and flips. Doesn't make sense. Why would you want to borrow money from a hard money lender? You don't have any money, no strategy. So there's strategies if you don't have any money, but it's definitely not fix and flips, and it's definitely not being a landlord because being a landlord and fix and flips require money. Now, can you still get in real estate without money? I would say yes, but 99.9% of people will fail that have no money because they don't have their mind right. That's why they don't have no money, right? So, guys, real estate investing is very, very hard work, right? It's very, very complex. Being a business owner is very, very hard work. It's very complex. So, the truth of the fact is, the statistics is 9 out of 10 businesses go bankrupt. It's very, very hard to have a business in America. There's so many shady people. I just did a report about a customer robbing me left and right over and over. Okay. There's shady people out there. What can you do? So if you don't have any money, your odds of being in a real estate is very, very slim. Let me just be honest with you. No one's going to be honest with you. Can you do it? Yes. America is the greatest place. This is the only place you can do it. But if the majority of people that don't have any money don't have their mind right. Now, if you don't have any money, what you should do is download the new Flip. I show you how to make money, how to turn $100, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x, 7x. What that means is 100%, 200%, 300%, 400%, all the way to 700% in a very fast time so you can build your money, the new Flip. But guys, if you don't have no money, you should not get into real estate, man. You should get a job to build your money or download the new Flip and build your money or create a business where you can build money. But if you want to be a landlord, you want to be a fix and flip, or you're dead broke, you got no credit, you got nothing, then please, you're listening to people's hype. I hope I answered that question for you. No disrespect, okay? Now let's move on forward to other questions that people have always asked me. All right, people ask me, Mike, how do you find these deals? Okay, how do you find these deals? All right, first of all, I'm gonna tell you how I don't find these deals. By the way, click the like button, guys. Click the like button. Let me know what state you're from. All right, and let me know if you want to buy subject to deals. Leave it in the comment. Don't be a stalker. Don't be a lurk in the dark. Leave a comment. All right, let me know if you want to find these deals. And if you do you want to buy it for your own personal home? Do you want to buy it for your fix and flips? You want to buy it for your rental properties? What do you want to do with it? Do you want to create a new note, etc.? New York's in the house. Sophia, I'm glad I can spell your name. Majority of times I can't spell. Okay. Uh, Florida, what's going on? Uh, Catherine, I'm sorry, man. My spelling's really, really bad. All right. So let's talk about where to find these deals. I'm gonna talk about where to find them, but before I do, I'm gonna talk about where not to find them. Okay, because that's the most important thing. You're not gonna be able to find this deal with a real estate agent. I'm sorry, you're not gonna be able to do that. You're not gonna find this deal on the MLS. You're not gonna be able to find these at the auction. You're not gonna be able to find these at some auction website. You're not gonna find these deals there. Okay, this buying houses subject to is working with homeowners direct, and to do that, you have to go off roading. You can't go the normal path where everyone else goes, like the MLS, etc. You got to go off-roading. You have to create your own path. That's called marketing. Okay. The only way to find deals like this, there's two ways. You can buy from other students like mine that are doing the deals, and you can buy from them and pay them an assignment fee, or you can buy from other wholesalers out there that are going to charge an arm and a leg for the same exact types of deals. Okay. But I just teach my students to just let them go real fast so that they can learn and make money, not to be greedy. But other guys are greedy out there. So either way, you can buy from a wholesaler. I don't do that way. I don't like that. I don't recommend that because the amount of money you pay for getting deals over time, or even in your first deal, will overcome if you just join profit sharing. Let me show you how to do it. Okay. Now, the other thing is that you're not gonna you're not gonna find them in any of the stuff that most people do. You got to do creative marketing so you don't spend a lot of money. Now, you can spend money or you can do it for free. I like to do it for free. That's what we teach at Profit Sharing, guys. But you can spend money, and there's a lot of people tell you how to do it with money. But the point of the story is you got to market to find motivated sellers. You got to be good at marketing. I mean, if you're not good at marketing, okay. Now, if there's two ways to market, you got to have money or you can do it for free. Now, everyone and their mama teaches you how to do it with money, which means like if put it on your credit card, get into debt, hard money, etc. Right? I show you how to use your imagination, creativity, and do it for free. Once you use that free sweat equity and you make money, then you take this money, what I call house money, and now you put it into uh, marketing that costs money. Okay, versus marketing that just you could use sweat equity. Excuse me. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment. I'll be happy to answer it to you. So the way to find these homeowners, you have to market to them direct. You can't use the traditional path. Okay. If you'd like to learn exactly how we do it, then you could download the Flipping Wednesdays. It's $2,000. It's not expensive, but it's not for everyone. But if you like to get it for only $238, then I highly recommend joining my profit sharing because you get it 89% off. So again, if when you're in my profit sharing, I'll give you my business tools for up to 89% off. Amazing, guys. And check this out. Then I'll give you your money back with these tools when you do your 9 deals. So the whole goal is to help you do 9 deals, and then I'll reward you back and give you your tools back as a gift from me to you. Who in the hell in the world will do something like that? All the tools you need, I will refund them once you commit and do what you say you're going to do, which is do 9 deals. Wow, where can you go get that, man? Only in America and Mr. No Fluff, guys and ladies. Okay, so let's move forward to other questions that I always get. If you guys have any questions about subject 2, leave it here. I'll answer it for you. All right. Now, one that I get all the time that says, guys message me all the time because I don't understand it, and they say, "Well, Mike, uh, my lawyer said no. Mike, this title, I called one title company and they said no. Mike, I talked to this investor that's been doing fix and flips, and he's borrowing from a hard money lender, and he said no, you can't do this because there's so many different problems. You can't do it this way because there's due on sale, etc." First and foremost, most attorneys, most title companies don't understand or don't want to render this type of services because if you're asking them in your level of this level, they're only going to give you advice at this level. If your level of understanding is this level, then they're going to give you advice at that level. So if you're new, they're not going to give you more higher level advice because it's above your comprehension, right? Because they have liability attorneys, okay? So now, I can tell you that I've done multiple subject to deals, and I can tell you that if you go to the government HUD one, Google HUD one, look there. There, there's a line. I can't remember the top of my head right now. It says subject to. I think it's line 203 or 213 or somewhere around there. 215. It says subject to. Well, I don't know why attorneys say no. I don't know why some title companies say no. But there are attorneys out there that will do these deals, and there are title companies out there that will do these deals. But once again, they're not the traditional path. You got to go off roading. You got to, you know, maybe call 5 title companies. Maybe you have to call 10 title companies to find one that knows what's going on. Most investors don't know how to do these strategies. Most of these fix and flippers are buying deals from wholesalers. And I know all these majority of these big wholesalers, they got their students coming to my classes taking my stuff to do deals because I'm such a great marketer, right? So I know that they're selling these deals for thousands of dollars, okay? And they're professional wholesalers. They got multiple locations. That's what they do, okay? So if you want to be successful, you got to become a great marketer to find these motivated sellers. 2, you got to do your due diligence, and you can't just when the first knock you do on the door and the title company says no, say okay, it's not doesn't work. Just like your dreams, everyone's going to say no to you. You got to go from door to door to door till you find the title company, till you find the attorney that's going to understand how to do this. Guys, if an attorney has never bought a house subject to, I don't use attorneys that never bought a house subject to. Right? I'm going to use an attorney that's board certified, that's done deals as a subject. That is a real estate investor that has rental properties. Right? You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to use someone that doesn't have any real estate, never understands what real estate is, and ask him or her for advice. That doesn't make sense. It's kind of like going to a fat doctor and saying, "Hey, how can I lose weight?" It's kind of like going to a fat personal trainer. How can I lose weight? Now they have the basic understanding of the law, but they don't understand everything because they're not in the rental business. They're not in the real estate business. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. I'm not any of that stuff. I'm just a refugee to America. I'm just showing you how I've done it. Okay, I could be 100% wrong, right? So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just showing you exactly what I've done. So I don't stop at the first title company. I've gone through multiple till I found them. I didn't stop at the first attorney. I went to multiple till I found one that has rental properties, that is board certified, that understand what is going on. And guess what? I use the same people over and over, right? So when an attorney says no or a title company says no, please, my advice would be seek other options, seek other professionals, and see, talk to 10, talk to 20, talk to 50. Don't just listen to the first guy or gal that says you can't be your dreams, right? Don't do that. I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do. You can do whatever you want. I'm not going to do that. All right. So that said, let's talk about the due on sell, because so many people say, "Oh, Mike, my attorney says there's a due on sell." Yes, yes, that is correct. There is a due on sell clause in all the DOT, deed of trust. They're in all of them. They started putting them there in the 1980s because back in the days they didn't have that DOT. I mean, I'm sorry, DOS, due on sell clause in the deed of trust, and people were just letting other people just assume their mortgages. And so the banks got smart, lobby Congress, they put that in there. Now banks can accelerate, banks can foreclose when the seller deeds me the property. Now the whole thing is that they can, they may, they have the right to. It doesn't mean that they're going to. And all the deals I've done since 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, etc., not one bank has ever called the note on me. Okay, for me personally, can they do it? Yes. Is it a risk for me? Yes. Yes. Is it a risk for the seller? Yes. Do I tell the seller this? Yes. I tell them verbally. I write it on paper. We do it at closing. We tell them all the way because there's a risk for the seller. There's a risk for me. Right. I don't want to put my money down, pay for the closing, and then 5 years later the bank call the note. I don't want that. But I know it's a risk. But I'm willing to do it because the risk is so much less than AC problems, bad tenants, so on, hail damage, and so on and so on. The risk for me is so much less than going and begging a bank for a loan, signing a promissory note, signing a DOT, deed of trust, and putting my neck on the line. Because in this situation, when I'm taking the seller's payments, I'm not putting my neck on the line, and I let the seller know. I let them know in writing. I tell them, look, I'm not assuming this debt. The debt is under your name. I explain it to them. Look, this is you, right? Right now you have the title or the deed, and you also have the debt. We're gonna separate this. You're gonna give me, right, the deed, and the debt still is under your neck, under your shoulder. This is your best, worst option. Right? I tell them straight up. I don't have nothing to lose. If they're not okay with it, no problem. There's other sellers out there. I'm a great marketer. There are motivated sellers out there that are willing to give me money just to take over their payments. I'm not desperate. I'm not going to try to pull the wool over someone's eye. I'm not willing to do that. I'm willing to only do the right thing. I don't care if I don't make any money. I don't care. The right thing. And when the seller asks me, Mike, is this loan going to be under my name? Is it going to be under my social security? I look him in the eye and I say, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. It will be. And then I shut it. I don't do the Texas 2 stuff. I don't go backward and do blah, 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 blah. No, I tell them the truth. In my paperwork, it tells them right there. I have nothing to hide. If they don't want to do business with me, they don't want to do it the way exactly it is, God bless them. Wish them luck. Move on. There's other people in line. And that's the power of knowing how to market. And that's what I give you guys in my profit sharing is once you have so many sellers wanting to do business with you, when you have so many sellers chasing you, then you don't have to be so needy and say, please give me this business. And that's the whole goal. The whole goal is to be so good at what you do that when you do what you do it out of love, and you're not going to lie to people. You're not going to try to rip them off. You're not going to pull the wool over. You're going to tell them straight up. And they still want to do business with you. That's the whole goal. That's at least my goal. Right? I tell them the truth. They don't want it. No problem. God bless you. You want it? Let's do the deal, man. Because I got to take a risk. I got to put money up line, and the bank can call the loan on me. It has never happened before. There's a lot of steps that I do to protect myself. And if you want to know how to do those things, then I highly recommend joining my profit sharing coaching. For just right now, we're having a flash sale for $71 a month. You get 4 meetings a month. $71 a month. 4 meetings a month. We meet every Saturday for 1 hour. Okay. If you guys and gals have any questions, you can leave a comment. All right. Look, I forgot what I was talking about. Okay, so due on sell. Let's the due on sell. There is a risk for the seller and for me. I'll let them know. But no bank has ever called the note on to me so far. Can they do it? Absolutely. Do I think it can happen? Yes, I think it can happen. Do I think it's a risk? Yes. Do I think the probability is high? No, I think the probability is very, very low. Less than 0.01, less than 1%. I'm worser having a bad tenant, running water, hail damage, than the bank calling a note on me. Okay, from my experience and from my understanding of doing real estate since, like I said, guys, 2006, 2007, 2008, so on, all the way to 2019, as I'm making this video for you guys. I don't know everything and I make mistakes, but no banks have ever called the loan on me so far. Okay, and it can happen in the future, and I won't put risk my money. That's why I took this risk. Okay, now why do I think that banks are not going to call the note on me today? Well, in the 2006, 2007, when I was taking over payments, the banks had massive foreclosures on their books. Hundreds and thousands of people all over America were losing their homes. So guess what? Why would they want to foreclose on me when I'm making payments on them? They never did, because they have so many other people foreclosing on them. In 2019, 2020, and so on, why would a bank want to foreclose on me? Let's say I take someone's payment over that has a mortgage in 2006, 2007, 2008. Guess what? Their interest rate is double than what it is today. It's 6, 7% today. It's like 3%. Why would a bank want to call the note on me on a 6% interest rate, then go pay for attorneys to do foreclosure, pay for all the holding fees, pay for the realtor, pay for the insurance, have a risk of vandalism, put it back on the market, get a new person to get in debt, and then give them a note, give them a mortgage for 2%, 3%. I mean, as a business owner, I rather just get the 6%. I just want my money. If I lend someone some money, I just want my money. That's all I care about. And if someone's paying me 6%, it's much better than if I had to pay all these attorney fees, pay all these foreclosures, and then give it to someone else and only get 3%. That's why I think in 2019 the risk for me is very, very low and subject to seller financing deals, because the banks are in trouble. Interest rates going lower and lower and lower, and why would they want to foreclose on a performing note when we're about to have a tsunami of foreclosures? To If they foreclose on me, they would have to turn around and give that money out, lend it out for a lot lower than what they're getting from me. Okay, so that's why I'm not scared of the due on sell clause. Is it there? Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, I mean it's there. I'm not scared of it. Can I lose my money? Yes, I can. But I go into it already knowing that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, guys. If you have any questions about subject to investing, I've been doing this for a very long time. I'll be happy to answer all your questions out. Now, there's a lot of things you have to do. Aaron says, Mike, recommendation on the subject to leads. Yeah, Aaron. The If you like to spend money for marketing, then just on my YouTube channel or my blog at my real estate dojo, I talk about a lot of different stuff you can generate, like expired divorces, etc. If you like to generate these leads for free, then my flipping Wednesdays, amazing. Everyone's having so much success with it, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter if they're in New York, California, New Jersey, Oklahoma, you name it. They're having so much success with it. Flipping Wednesdays, it costs $2,000. It's not expensive, but it's not for everyone. If you want to get that same exact product, not pay $2,000 for it and get it for 89% off, then join my profit sharing. I'll let you get it for 89% off. And listen to this. Once you do your 9 deals, I even refund back the profit sharing money back to you, all your tools back to you, because I want you to succeed. I want you to come up here, motivate other people so they don't have to work on, like one of my students says, Danny says, I like them. I mean, I'm stealing from him. Thanks, Danny. He says, the work plantation. So if you want to leave the work plantation, if you're tired of being the slave for the man, right, then join my profit sharing, because I'm giving you the moons and the stars for $71 a month, plus all the advanced training courses that you need to have success. Plus, I'm guaranteeing 100% money back when you do your 9 deals. But right off the bat, if I was going to work subject to deals and I wasn't going to do flipping Wednesdays, which I would definitely do flipping Wednesdays because it costs $0 to generate these leads. Okay, zero, zero, zero. Okay, but divorces, again, one out of 2 people, one person is divorced. People need 2 incomes to pay. Divorces, expires, man, expired MLSs. People try to sell their home and they couldn't, right? Does that sound like they're motivated? They still need to sell. They couldn't. That's real motivation, right? There's so many other ways. I mean, there's millions of ways, but profit sharing is where we dish it all out, and we hold your hand. Thanks, Aaron. Sophia says she's in New York, Bronx. Welcome, Sophia. Florida's in the house. Okay, let me see if we have any other. Okay, Sophia says she would love to buy a house subject to. I think that's a very very smart move. So if you guys live in an apartment, you don't own your first home, that's exactly what I did. The very first house I bought, it was for myself to live into. Okay, the reason I got into subject to investing was because it was a last crash 2006. I had money in the bank. I had a successful business. I had great credit, but it was just the market had just melted, and the banks were just pulling their money away from everyone. Their credits, I mean, they weren't lending out for shit because they had all these houses on their books. Okay, they were doing robo signing, and they were in trouble, and they were not giving me money. And I went to multiple banks, and I had all these banks, and I had hundreds of $1,000s in the banks, and I said, look, dude, I could just buy a house cash, but I didn't want to buy one house. I wanted to buy multiple houses because at that time I was a rookie. I didn't know. I thought I need to have the whole cash, but I knew that this is the best time to buy in 2006, 2007, 2008. So I wanted to buy as much as I could. That's why I started learning the journey of subject to, because the banks were now lending. So I got into my first rental property that I lived in myself, which then I turned into a rental property by buying it subject to, just like Sophia says. I bought it because I wanted to live in it, okay? Because I didn't want to get a bank loan at that time or pay cash for it. Well, I wanted to get a bank loan, but they weren't giving out loans at that time. I went to so many different banks, like excellent credit, had a lot of money in the bank. I could even pay cash for the house, but I didn't want to pay cash because I wanted to buy a bunch of properties. So I said, you know what? Let me find a way where the seller will just do seller financing. And guess what? My very first deal, I got a seller financing, a subject to deal. It was a two-story with the pool, beautiful home, brand new, didn't need any repairs, move-in ready. All I had to do was just clean it. It was an amazing deal. And I think it's a smart move for anyone that doesn't have a home. Not financial advice, but it's a great move. I think that's exactly what I did. I bought my first property, a subject to. Once I bought that, I was like, man, I became a believer, because before that, I wasn't a believer. I didn't think subject to, worked, right? I didn't think they were legal. I didn't think anyone would want to give me their home like this, just like all the doubts that most people have. They're new, right? I didn't believe it. So I did my first deal. Once I did my first deal, I was hooked. I was hooked. I knew it worked. And then I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in marketing. I did every marketing you can imagine on the books, and I've done all the videos about it on my YouTube channel. One of my favorite marketing was I had a human billboard, right? I would pay people $100, $150 a day that would stand in the business intersections, walking around saying, going to foreclosure. Guess what? We're in 2006, 2007, 2008. Many people going to foreclosure. Phones were ringing. I was doing so many different things. I made a lot of mistakes, and that's why I'm teaching you guys. Okay, but good question. Good question, Sophia. I think it's a great idea, not financial advice, to buy your first home subject to. Okay, I got another question coming in now. People think that when you deal with motivated sellers, that you could only buy their house subject to or seller financing, and that's no either. You can buy houses 60 cents on a dollar. So there's a lot of wholesale companies that have multiple locations, multiple states, and these guys are dealing with motivated sellers and then turning around and selling to the fix and flippers, because the fix and flippers, they're just know how to work with the hammer. They don't have any computer skills. They don't have any marketing skills. They don't have any sales negotiation skills. So guess what? They're spending thousands of dollars buying deals from wholesalers. Well, guess what? What do you think these wholesalers are getting these deals from? From homeowners direct, just the way I teach it, right? So some wholesaler companies that are national wide are just dealing with homeowners direct, getting it under contract and selling to fix and flippers. And usually they're just selling it to brand new fix and flippers that don't know shit, telling them how easy it is to get into debt with hard money lender, blah, blah, blah. Before they know it, they're bankrupt. Worst case scenario. Best case scenario, they'll do a deal, but the odds of that are very, very slim, because I see it all the time. Okay, like I talked to you guys a couple of weeks ago. One of my students, William, okay, uh, had a seller spend 100K of his own money, spend months fixing the property, borrowed almost $200,000 from hard money, and try to sell the property. The market has turned, hasn't been able to sell it, and very soon the hard money is going to foreclose on him. So what do you think is going to happen to this guy? He lost 100K of equity, cash money at his own bucket, months of working. See? All right. All right, guys. I think that's all the questions for today. We've kind of gone long. Go ahead and click the like button. Let me know what do you want to use your subject to deals for, and if you want to buy houses subject twos. Okay. But to summarize it, when you work with homeowners direct, I think that's the best because you create win-win situations. You can help out, you know, homeowners. You can help yourself out, and you don't allow the bankers to benefit by taking the property, taking all the improvements, taking the down payments, etc. And it's created a win-win situation. I don't like banks, so that's why I'm always ragging on them. But no disrespect to banks. If you like banks, great for you. Okay. If you like to get into debt, great for you. Uh, if I'm gonna get into debt, it's not gonna be a it's gonna be a non-recourse loan, and I'm not gonna put my social security up, and I'm only gonna pledge the collateral, the property as the collateral, and nothing else, unlike traditional. Guys, click the like button, leave a comment. One other thing, flash sale on my profit sharing, 71 bucks a month. 71 bucks a month includes 4 meetings, and we'll split up 9 deals. So I'll work with you one on one. I will answer your questions, and we'll do 9 deals. And again, $79, $71 a month. There's only a limited amount of seats. Don't wait around because the price is going to go to $199 a month, which is 200 bucks a month, which is still a launch sell because this course, profit sharing, is a $3,000 a month course. Hustle and bustle. Much love. Peace, guys.